Hello there. In this lecture, we'll see what are the basic operations we can perform with a dataset. Let me just quickly create a file on Scala app, dataset basic operations. I'll create a Spark session and let me just copy it from here and have my Spark session ready. Now I have a dataset ratings class is already there. Let me just create these things as well over here. I'll infer the schema and I have to import the Spark implicit as well. Okay, now everything is ready and I have my data set ready over here. What kind of operations we can do in a data set? Suppose I have a ratings file over here and I want to list out all the movies which has rating 4, right? So what I can do, I can use two functions are available for doing that. Either I can use a filter function or I can use a where clause function. So let me just demonstrate both the functions for you. Filter demo and from dataset ratings dataset, I want to filter. What I want to filter uh, rating or rating object. For every filter function, I'll get a rating object. In rating object, what I have to do? Rating object dot what are the ratings we have, what are the see, whenever we take the rating object, the filter function applies on each and every row. What did I tell when I create when we are creating a data set? It Spark takes each and every row of a file, whatever content of the file, and it will convert into a rating object. So with the filter function, what I'm going to do, I'm taking each and every row object, right? Each and every row. So each and every row will be converted into a ratings object. So under rating object, what are the classes we have? What are the, sorry, under the rating object, what are the variables we have, or what are the types variables we have? We have user ID, movie ID, rating, and timestamp, right? So those things will be visible when I give this, right? Under rating object, I have movie ID, rating, timestamp, and user ID. I want to filter out the movies which has rating equals to 4, right? This is what I want to do. So what I have done, I'm just taking a rating objects data set and I'm taking each and every row and I'm filtering on top of that row. Okay, now let me just show the contents over here. I'll just run the job. And we are getting ratings movies or list of movies with rating equals to 4. And if I want to get the count, I can just use uh, movies. I'll just give simple straightforward function which you used to do in RDD and data frame, which is count function. If you have not gone through the RDD or data frame functions, I have created a video for those two concepts. I'll leave a description in somewhere in the on the screen. You can refer to that videos as well. And you can see the job is running. It has given the show over here. These are the things, and how many movies are there? There are 28,750 movies, right? This is how when we have used a filter function. We can also use the where function, which is available over here. Let me just show you the demo of that wait function as well. Ratings ts dot where what I can do, ratings. When you are using a where clause or a where function, you cannot use a function like this. What we have to use instead is of this ratings of rating. We have to mention the column name like this equals 4.0, right? When we are using this column name in this format, then this is how we have to use the where clause. Otherwise, we can also use something like this ratings ds dot where uh, ratings equals 4.0. This is another way of doing. Okay, these are the two ways of doing it. Let me just demo the first one. I'll just give where demo dot show, and I don't want to unnecessarily run these things. This we have already seen how it executes. Uh, so let me run only for this one. And you can see it's showing. If you want to see the other way as well, I'll show you the demo. I'll give the demo of this one as well. Ratings instead of this. Let me run the job again. Okay, this is how we can use a filter function and a where clause over a data set, right? There are other functions like select function and other stuff. Uh, at select function is little uh, uh, complex to understand when it comes to the data set. The reason why I say that is, suppose we have this ratings data set and I want to select only columns like user ID and movie ID and rating. Only these two columns I want to select, right? So let me just do that operation. Well, selected columns. I'll do ratings ds dot select, and I'll select what are the columns we have. Movie ID. I guess this is the one, right? And I'll select rating. Let these two columns I'll select. Now you observe the return type, whatever we have, whatever it's forming, it is forming a data frame. On top of a data set, whenever we are doing a select operation or some kind of aggregations or a group by function, something like that, the result will always be a data frame, will not get a data set. The reason why we will not get a data set is we the data set whatever we have created over here is using the ratings case class, and when we are selecting only two columns from that, there is no case class with these two columns alone. We have not pointed that case class to this, and the Spark is not aware of what kind of case class it has to convert or what kind of data set it has to convert. That is the reason whenever we do certain operations like select or some aggregate functions or joins, we'll always get a data frame and not a data set. Suppose if we want to create a data set out of this select function as well, then we can create that as well by creating another case class. For example, I can create a case class something like this, case class movie rating, and I'll have movie ID and rating is double, right? And whenever I do this select, I can just give something like this as I'll give movie rating. With this, whatever selected columns we have, these selected columns will be converted into a type of movie rating. And you can see that the return data set data type is this one. It's of movie rating object. And you would have also observed I have created a case class within my object class, right? It is absolutely fine with a Scala, and it's not a problem. It is called as an inner class. The scope of this case class or a movie rating class will be available or is applicable only for this particular within this object. The case class whichever we have created here, right? We have created outside our object, and this case class is available for an entire package. We can use and we can refer this case class, but this case class visibility by default will be within our object. Right, this way of creating a case class is also absolutely fine, not a problem. Okay, now I have created the selected columns and I have converted that into a movie rating object or movie rating dataset. Let me just run this and show the schema or show the contents of the data set. And you can see it's running. And you can see we have the object properly created, right? So when you are doing a filter function is not altering any columns. It guarantees whatever columns we have, the columns remains the same. That's the reason whenever we do the filter function or a where clause function, we don't have any problem in getting a data frame as a return type. Sorry, data set as a return type, right? But when we do a select operation, there is a chance that either we can select a subset of columns, or when we are working with aggregate functions or the join functions, right? There is a probability that we'll be joining or we'll be getting extra columns, or we'll be getting a minimal columns which are not available with the existing case class or existing data set. That is the reason whenever we do these operations, we'll get a data frame rather than a data set, right? This is one important thing we have to keep in mind when we are working with the data set, right? So always whenever we do such operations where we get a data frame and but we want to deal with a data set, we have to make sure that a proper corresponding case class is there, and we are converting that a data frame into a data set using the case class which we have created. Okay, guys, these are some basic stuff which we can do with the data set. And there are some other complex things like joins and aggregates and other stuff which which I'll be explaining in the advanced Spark concept, where I'll show you a data frame and data set advanced functions and operations. Okay, these are the basic operations which we do with the data set, and we keep practicing this to get much more familiar to the dataset concept. Okay, guys, and that's it for this video lecture, guys, and see you in the next lecture. Bye, guys.